is a member of the Mice Chat Podcast Network. MicePod.com. Now, the podcast that's nearly the same as all the others.
Warning, this show contains childish adult content and is intended for immature, mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised. The views spoken are ours and ours alone, not those of any other bugger. If you're easily offended, we strongly suggest finding another podcast. Everybody neat and pretty, then on with the show.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Let's put on the show.
Growing older is mandatory. Growing up is optional. Disafterdark, the podcast that's nearly the same as all the others.
Hello. Yeah, hiya. Thank you, everyone. Welcome back. Season 2, episode 19 of Disafterdark. I'm Paul.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Paul D.
And yeah, there's no pregnant pause whilst we wait for the announcement of our guest tonight. Because we were due one. It's not that everyone hates us or anything. We were actually due one. But he's been held up. I had a nice email message from him. Chef BigFatPanda. So we'll look forward to having you on very soon, hopefully. But apparently he got stuck at Downtown Disney.
Oh, I can see it getting worse places to get stuck.
Yeah. Waiting 1 hour for Valet. Now,
is that a new attraction? Or
I don't know. I believe that to be...
It's a new Cars Land.
Yeah, I think that might just be waiting 1 hour for valet parking to turn his car back to him. Because personally, I'm British, so if I was waiting over an hour for my valet, I would have had him fired.
I would have shot him by now.
Yeah. So we don't want our butlers treating us that badly. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, do we do the drink thing first? I can barely remember. What are you drinking?
Yeah, I think that's normally the order. I've gone for a Disney-themed beer.
Excellent.
Or craft ale, to be exact. It's a bottle of Adnams Innovation.
Oh, nice find.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Good one.
There you go.
And the flavour? Is it any good?
Beery.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound very innovative. I expected it to be vodka-y or something different.
That just shows that we're just doing it.
Of cogs.
Yeah, we're just doing it for the heck of it, aren't we? Really, we're not some sort of beer connoisseurs who are going to go. Well, I can see a overtone of nutty where it was flavoured in a mild oak cask. No, it's kind of beery, isn't it?
That's it. Beery's beery to me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry if that upsets anyone, but tough.
Mr. D.
Okay, so I managed to find one called Late Red. So the Disney connection here is, remember on the safari in the Animal Kingdom, Big Red was the elephant.
Yeah,
right?
not drinking it in half pints then.
Yeah, no.
Excellent.
Drink it out of an elephant's foot. Here we go. But yeah, he's no longer there, so he's Late Red.
He's just Late Red now, yes.
So how does it taste?
Like elephant's beer. No,
beer.
It's beery.
Beery. Yes.
Oh, well,
It's obviously been matured in a oaken cask. I can tell.
Yeah,
obviously.
Nice.
Yeah, because I got a splinter.
Really flavour.
No, I got a bit of wood in my mouth. Got a splinter.
Isn't that a ninja rat?
Yeah. Oh, dear. I was hunting high and low for a Disney-themed beer, and then I stumbled across this one, and I really can't believe we haven't actually found it before now. Because it's the most common beer there is in England. But I've gone for a Pocahontas reference. Yeah, you know where we're going, don't
you? Yeah.
I've gone for a can of John Smith's. How have we never noticed that?
That's true.
And what does it taste like? Well, it says on the can it's a distinctive, full-flavoured, smooth bitter. But
is it bittery?
It is bittery and beery, and kind of flat and warm.
Should have warmed that up.
Yeah.
Or even cold that up.
Oh, here we go. And it's got a widget in the can to give it a nice, creamy, smooth head that I can put a flake in.
Or a widget?
Something like that, yeah. Anyway, should anyone want to contact us, Tell us a good themed beer, or wonder why on earth I've never noticed John Smith's before now.
Or even explain how beer isn't actually beer and it tastes of something completely different.
Yeah.
You can visit our website at www.disafterdark.com, or you can email us at podcast@disafterdark.com.
Or you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Disafterdark. We're also on Twitter at Disafterdark, and you can find us on MiceChat at micechat.com.
Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube at Disafterdark Podcast.
V-Radio.
Yes, v24.com.
V24.
There'll probably be a bit more on YouTube on our channel in about, I don't know, maybe 85 or 86 days' time. Because that's when I start. Yeah, I don't want to rub this in. I've got 74 days left until of my countdown. What are you on, Paul?
82.
And when's your next one due?
Who? Me? I think it's a year 3000. I can't remember what my countdown is. I actually booked Disneyland Paris yesterday.
Yeah.
We wanted to get past I was looking actually to go for the shareholders opening of Ratatouille.
Yeah.
There's a preview event happening at the end of June for about 4 days. I think it's the 24th to 29th, something like that. But I just couldn't get the trains to work for me. So I'm going in the beginning of September because it was it was just before the school holidays for the UK. The school holidays start in France by the time Ratatouille opens officially. And with new rides, I can't be bothered to go there for 4 days. And for 2 or 3 of those days, the ride's down.
Yeah.
So I thought if I wait till September, everything will be smoothed out. It'll all be good.
Because a new ride in Paris, and you're there for 4 days. So 2 days would be the rides down. The other 2 days is standing in the queue.
Yeah. I'm hoping by that point as well that the new single rider line for Crush's Coast will be open. Because you've got to remember, Mrs. Branch ain't going on any of these rides this time. So.
She doesn't give a rat's.
Oh, there we go.
She's hoping to go on it, but we'll see.
Round of applause for that one.
Groan for that one.
Right, well, as we're Son's guest, you see, I put a bit of Parisian flair into that one. This evening, we may as well go straight into this bit.
A view of the news with Disafterdark.
Blimey, yeah. Headloads going on in the Disney World this week.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Who wants to start?
Well, I've got an interesting bit of news that no one will actually know.
Well, that's a good place to start because the rest of us will just do common stuff that everyone knows.
Well, it's going to be very short before I go into my next story. But basically, for listeners new, you won't notice this, but for listeners old, we recently changed the intro music.
We did.
For this very show. And I've got to be honest, I was too embarrassed to ask what it was. I really could not figure out what it was until last week at my daughter's first birthday party when a familiar song was playing. I was like thinking, hang on a second, what's this from? And of course, it's the opening segment to Hi Ho from Snow White.
It is indeed, yes.
And I had no idea. Because although I've seen Snow White, I've not seen it in so long, I just remembered Hi Ho for being Hi Ho, not the bit at the beginning because it's so different. So yeah, that's news. But no, the news story I wanted to bring up, and I'm probably already raining on someone else's parade, is the 23rd of August date that's been announced at Hollywood Studios at Walt Disney World. I think that FUD indicates something else, of the Villains event. Which I think is very exciting, personally.
Yeah. I think that's particularly exciting because it may happen to coincide with the time I'm there.
And I think what's good as well, because obviously there was a similar event last year, but this is, unfortunately for some people, a hard ticketed event, which means there's going to be limits, which means it's still going to be chaotic. I can predict this now, but it's going to be nowhere near as chaotic as it was this time about the same time as it was last year, purely because it's not open to everyone. But it sounds great. About 50 or so villains would be descending on the studios for the night.
Are they including Darth Vader and Darth Maul? Because if he has Darth Maul open for hard-ticketed events, a bit like the Star Wars weekends, there'll be an excuse to sell more merchandise.
Well, there is a Star Wars element involved.
I thought it might be.
Yeah. So there's a bit for Oogie Boogie as well. He's got his own section. There is a Star Wars section. Oogie Boogie.
Boogie Boogie.
I've gone down the whole Metal Mickey route. I have no idea who you're on about.
Oogie Boogie?
No, not at all.
He is he's the main villain in Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, directed by Henry Selick.
I am so gonna get slated for that, aren't I?
He's quite famous, to be honest. So
he really should be, but I probably haven't seen. Yeah.
There's also Hades Hangout and Dance Party Show.
All right.
Villain in the Sky's fireworks even.
Cool.
And attractions will be open such as Twilight Zone, Rock 'n' Roller Coaster, Toy Story Mania, and Star Tours.
So basically all the attractions that are there.
Yeah, pretty much. And you are able to dress up as your favourite villain as well.
Okay, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, why not? If anyone wants to go in as Leatherface, complete with authentic skin costume, or Norman Bates.
Something particularly universal.
Norman Bates' mother.
Yeah.
My first year maths teacher.
Who have you got as Fred West?
She's definitely a villain.
You know what? It's a shame, guys, we're not all there at the same time, because we could have gone as three birds from the Hitchcock film The Birds.
We could have done.
Just three random birds.
I'm just a bird. What? Yeah, I don't know. Oh dear. Yeah. Oh, cool. That one's in the diary. And if anyone's out there, I shall try and get a ticket and see you there.
Yeah, that's a one-off. We're gonna miss that. We miss it by 6 days.
Oh, bummer.
Damn.
Bummer. Right. What else have you got for us?
Okay, the other nighttime event which has started is the Harambe Nights. Started this week.
Aye.
In the Animal Kingdom. And again, I don't think that's going to be on when we get there. I think that has got a limited run, hasn't it?
I think so, yes. Because we're factually correct here. We're just going, yeah, probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So it's a hard ticketed event in the Animal Kingdom. There's a show. There's the park's closed to normal day guests, and then after the show there's food. And I've read a few reviews on it. It sounds interesting.
Yeah, I'm kind of starting to lose interest. I mean, I've got tickets for the Halloween, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. So if anyone is in there on the 9th of September, I'll be there. Look out.
12th of September, I'll be there.
Yes.
Good planning there.
Why is it starting so early?
Because they make money out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, but I mean, I remember the first year we went to, I went to Orlando. I remember Halloween Horror Night started about the 16th of September, and I thought that was early. But at the beginning of September, crazy.
Yeah, well, I'm bummed because
money.
we miss Halloween Horror Nights. We catch Mickey's Not So Scary, but we've never done Halloween Horror Nights, and we miss it by about 3 days.
Oh, it's scary.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is, and I think even if we were there for it, and I think we probably, I don't know.
Yeah, do not take your kids there.
No, our girls would. Yeah, someone would get hurt.
I've seen kids there, and it's ludicrous. Yeah,
So,
not ideal.
We got that, but it's like I'm starting to lose a bit of faith in the. Oh, this is a hard ticketed event, and then we've got the Harambe Nights, and then we've got the Villains Party. It's like, do you not make enough money out of the standard day tickets that you have to think we'll do a night party? I don't know.
To me, I think Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party shouldn't be a hard ticketed event. Personally, I like what they do. I think the candy element, the trick or treat stuff, is quite a cool element, and obviously very traditional. But obviously, it's about 3 different types of candy repeated ad nauseum.
Exactly.
Yeah, the parade's good, but they have a parade at night anyway, and the fireworks are good as well, and it's a different show. But to me, there's no real reason why they couldn't just for the month of October, or the months of September and October, do this as just an evening event. Even scale it down a bit. The villains, I understand why it's a hard ticketed event. I get that it's something unique. You're doing it as a one-off. I get that. But for me, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween, I don't see why it should be a hard ticketed event.
No.
Especially as well, because the other thing as well, if you're there, is if you're not there, if you don't have a ticket for it, you're chucked out of the park,
Yep.
aren't you? So
Yeah.
it means that your actual paying limits inside the park are then reduced as well because there's a party going on.
Yeah,
That's true.
Not a big fan, but well, I've got tickets anyway, so there's the ultimate hypocrisy. I don't really like it, but I'm going to buy tickets.
Yeah, but you're doing it for the girls.
Yeah, that's the argument. Does anyone know the name Nick Franklin?
I do now.
Yeah, Nick Franklin was executive VP for Next Generation Experience at Walt Disney Parks and Resorts, and he's leaving Disney in July.
Yeah, he's looking for his next experience.
He is, and he is allegedly the guy who oversaw development of My Magic Plus. Apparently, he's just moving on to find his own, but yeah, read between the lines, if you will. Has it been overly successful? Has it made every guest happy with their fast pass experience? I would tend to believe not.
And it's hugely behind schedule, isn't it? I mean, massively behind schedule.
Yeah, behind schedule, over budget.
Sounds like Wembley Stadium
Yeah.
back in the day.
Or most of the Brazil World Cup stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's on his way to pastures new, and we wish him well, even though we've never met him.
I wish him well as long as he never tries to do anything as silly as that again.
Yeah,
But if he wants to
anyone
come on and talk about it, we'd be
Yeah,
happy
sure.
to have him on. Yeah.
damn straight. Yes, Nick, buddy.
Come on, you got nothing else to do. Get on here.
If you're looking for your next experience,
Here's one.
welcome to my Disafterdark Plus.
Mouse his head where everybody knows your name once we're told what it is.
Yeah. Oh, what else has happened? There's loads.
Yeah. There's lots of stuff going on.
There is. I've seen a video of it, and I don't really understand what the fuss is about, but it appears they've been doing some maintenance work on Expedition Everest.
Yes, indeed. They
Has everyone seen this video?
No, have we still got the Disco Yeti?
Yeah, Disco Yeti's still there. What I liked actually was I got an email the other day from D23 where it had like a list of the top audio animatronics at Disney parks, and the main photo was of the Yeti. I just thought, there's irony there somewhere, surely.
Yeah.
No, Disco Yeti still exists. He's still having a rave to the Village People and other such bands. But no, as you climb the mountain to where the track has been broken by said Disco Yeti, the track itself has now disappeared.
Yeah.
So you climb up the mountain on the track, and then it just ends, rather than you seeing the torn up track in front of you. Now, everyone is freaking out on this because of how scary it now looks. Personally, it didn't look that much different. It looked like there was something missing in front of your eyes, but it didn't look any more scary or less scary than it did before. It looked exactly the same for me. So, but we're not sure if it's permanent, if they've just gone to make the track look, a bit more themed, or a new bit, or what they've done with it. But
We've taken down some broken, non-functional track in order to replace it and make it look slightly more broken and non-functional.
well, the thing is, you'd have thought they'd still be keeping it, because when you are back inside the cave and you see the projection of the Yeti, and you see him pull up some more track, which looks exactly the same as how the track. So that part of the show, or that part of the ride, is still there. Therefore, you would think, well, why would you not have that? Because it continues the theme. But to be honest, I'd rather them just stop messing about with stuff like that and just fix the Yeti.
Was there any reason given for why they took it away?
No one seems to know anything. It just was there one day and it wasn't the next.
Kind of
And
smacks.
it's not been first for the last few either.
Yes, refurbishment. Not, as most people on various forums have put, rehab. Expedition Everest is not down for rehab. Okay? It does not have a drug problem.
They did try and take it, Expedition Everest to rehab, but it said no.
Oh, we knew that was going there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Abominable.
down. I would look for a sound effect, but I can't. Dear. I mentioned earlier, for some bizarre reason, the Brazilian World Cup things. But apparently, you can see most of the World Cup soccer games in various places around Walt Disney World.
Interesting.
So, for anyone who is posting on those various fora,
First round, they'll be on in the Rose and Crown.
oh yes, one rather
Only. Only.
Yeah, that'll be right. After that, not much happening. Yeah, it should be on the Rose and Crown, a really bad pull down screen on Sky Sports in 3D and no 3D glasses given out to it. But apparently you can see it in the ESPN, the Worldwide of Sports, Downtown Disney at various bars and restaurants, the All-Star Movies Resort on the Silver Screen Spirits Pool Bar, and the World Premiere Food Court. All-Star Music at the food court and the pool bar. All-Star Sports in a food court. Animal Kingdom at the Rainforest Cafe. Of all the places to show the World Cup, you're showing it in the Rainforest Cafe. Is that because it's in Brazil and it's
South
kind
American.
of themed? Yeah, it's like,
Yes. That to me is like watching it in 3D.
Yeah.
Animal Kingdom Lodge, the Sonar, the Pool Bar, Ferris Wine Bar, Art of Animation, Boardwalk, Caribbean Beach, Contemporary, Fort Wilderness, Grand Floridian, Old Key West, Polynesian, Port Orleans, Riverside and French Quarter, and the Yacht and Beach Club.
When you say pool bar, it sounds like a singles joint, Paul.
Yeah. Well, you never know.
As in pool.
Yeah.
I might have said this before.
Or is it pool as in with like a small... It's American pool, so it'll be a small green baize table with enormous buckets for pockets that you can't actually miss.
I'm talking about ESPN,
Yeah.
because from time to time we have been known to discuss the restrooms in Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
But if you go into the restrooms in ESPN, they've actually got TVs on the ceiling, so you can be comfortable and not miss your favourite sporting event.
That is outstanding.
Yeah, there you go. So if the World Cup's on and you need to go somewhere, don't worry, you won't miss it.
That is a problem, because being a Brighton supporter, they only ever score whenever I go to the toilet. And I'm not actually watching. I can watch 89 minutes of football where we will take an absolute pounding and then I will just go, that's it, I've had enough, I'm going for a wee. And something dramatic will happen in that 1 minute. And now they've put TVs in the toilets.
There you go.
That's it, I can never see them win a game again.
And as a West Ham fan, I'm used to watching crap games, so it's ideal for me.
It's the right place to watch the penalties, let's be honest.
Yeah, and ooh, 5! Oh dear. Yeah, so we got that one.
Yep.
What else? I mean, blimey. Carry on. Go on.
Look, just a little movie snippet. Some details released about the next Pixar movie. Don't know if you saw that. Damn, I think I've just shut that window. That's a mistake.
Didn't mean to do that. Never mind.
Inside Out, it was called.
Yeah.
And being released in 2015, and it's a bit like, do you remember the Cranium Command, where you were inside like a teenage boy's head, and it's a bit like that. It's all these different emotions inside this teenage boy.
All right.
That's the storyline.
Okay.
Mhm.
So they're not going to do. Is it Eddie? Was it Dave with Eddie Murphy?
Meet Dave.
That's it. Meet Dave.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, this one tickled me, and I can see some fellow Brits. This might just tickle, but anyone else who's not aware what our shopping districts are like around here, there's a co-op opened in downtown Disney Marketplace.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, where Team Mickey used to be. There is a store called the Co-op Marketplace, and it's got it's a little mini mall with some bespoke stuff and beauty stuff and
Right, but
jewelry.
it's not the co-op.
It's not a co-op, no. And for our American listeners, a co-op is like a really, really teeny tiny, slightly down market Walmart.
7-Eleven.
7-Eleven, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those without a slushing machine.
Open
Yeah.
late.
So yeah, and we call that the co-op. And they've been around years. They even used to do little stamps that you could have rather than
They also
actually
do
pay for.
they also do banking, and I bank with them, and they're in a lot of trouble. So that's good.
Yeah, ethical, but in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, really glad for that. Thanks, Hop.
But apparently, yeah, it just tickled me when I saw the fact there's a co-op opened at Downtown Disney. I'm thinking, I want to go to World of Disney because I need a big giant plush Stitch, and then I need as many pieces for my Mr. Potato Head as I want. And then I'm going to go into whatever and get a margarita, and then I'm going to pop to the co-op because I need 2 chicken breasts and some bacon.
Well, it's how you make Hunter's chicken. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Other recipes are available.
Oh dear. But we could continue with the news to desperately cover up the fact that we haven't got a guest, or is it too obvious now?
I think they figured it out.
I think, but to be fair, in our defence, I do think there was a lot of news.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there's probably even more important stuff that we've forgotten. Actually, you know what?
Well,
there is one thing that I can think of which we probably should mention.
Yeah,
after the roaring success of Maleficent, more on that later, I'm sure.
Right.
And the next release of Cinderella, which is out next year.
Yep.
They have announced a follow-up to that, which is they're making a live-action version of Beauty and the Beast. What's interesting is this is going to be based on the original animated film by Disney, but also includes songs from the Broadway musical, which added songs to the show. So obviously the Broadway show had songs from the film, but then added more songs to make it a longer production and a proper musical, and that's what this film is going to be more like. So as far as I could understand, it is going to be a musical. Or it's going to be heavily music featured with elements of talking, I suppose like Les Mis or something like that.
Yeah.
But no casting has been announced. Director was announced. I wish I could remember his name, but it was no one I'd heard of before, so never mind. And also, I suppose, would be very wrong for not mentioning the fact that Edgar Wright was sacked from Ant-Man, which was the only reason anyone cared about that Marvel superhero being turned into a film. And he's now been replaced by, I was going to say Peyton Manning, but he's an American football player. It's not him. Peyton Reed, that's it, who directed Bring It On, which is a very good cheerleading film. I don't care what anyone says.
But
he's no Edgar Wright.
I'm still waiting for further announcements on the fact that Banana Man is being made into a movie.
I can't get my head around that.
And the potential in the works for a new release of Condor Man.
I have not seen the original Condor Man.
Anything that's got man at the end of it is getting made into a movie these days.
Yeah.
Co-op man. That's what we need. You know,
I'm already
you can get 6 rolls and 2 chicken breasts at 24 hours, 7 days a week. Call for co-op man.
Pretty Woman.
Oh.
There's a remake waiting for this to happen as well.
Oh dear. Okay, fine. Fair enough. Well, that's kind of all the news we've got.
Yeah. On the movie front, though, there's all sorts of rumours and theories and things kicking around about the connection between Frozen and Tangled and The Little Mermaid. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Yeah. And as you start to read that, there are crazier and crazier and deeper conspiracy theories about how all the Pixar movies are all connected and how Disney movies are connected. I'm sure there's elements of truth in it, but I think some people have got too much time on their hands.
It's all Elsa and Anna had Rapunzel and Flynn Rider, whatever his name was, Eugene something. I just want to say Eugene Terrablanche, and that's a completely different name, isn't it? Yeah, she had a white rights activist. That's just wrong. At the wedding because they were some sort of cousins and something, and because that was all in Norway, and Hans Christian Andersen, the Little Mermaid, and the ship that crashed, and the ship that in the Little Mermaid was the ship that sunk that had their mum and dad on. And then you've got the fact that the Little Mermaid is actually Triton's daughter, who's like the brother of Neptune, who was something to do. So technically her and Hercules are cousins as well. But it's like, you got to be kidding. Stop it now. Starbucks should not be allowed in the Magic Kingdom.
That's what it is.
Well, as Cypress Hill once sang, I believe, when the ship goes down, you better be ready. I think that's what they were referring to.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in reference to Frozen or not.
Okay.
But actually, Rapunzel, Disneyland Paris news, Rapunzel meet and greet is extended through to the 31st of August.
Cool.
So anyone going out this summer, still on.
And still wants to meet Rapunzel. There you go.
Anna and
Fill your boots.
Poe aren't there
Yeah,
yet.
go on.
So,
Let your hair down.
yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh dear. Well, we've got the Facebook question, and I believe, Nick, we're going to come to you for a special on-the-spot report in a short while. But in the meantime, shall we just let the pub singer have something to do?
Absolutely.
He's warming up with a little bit.
He warms up, does he?
Well, depending on the definition of warming up, I mean, the England team warmed up against that great footballing nation Honduras the other night. So, yeah.
It was hot outside as well. I've no idea why they did that.
Don't know why. He does this all a cappella. You see, he knows more of the actual lyrics than I do.
Well, at least you could. I mean, I think he's been taking elocution lessons because
You can barely
I
hear
could
him.
make
yeah.
out some of those words actually
Yeah,
this time.
yeah.
I'm glad he warmed up.
Oh, thank you. Yes, yeah. He warmed up with some more John Smiths. Oh dear, oh dear. Nick, how are your tonsils warmed up?
Ish.
Because we can let you rip now if you want.
Thank you very much.
And yeah, I've just got to find this bit.
It's Soap Dishes Soapbox!
Back by popular demand.
Of one person. And me. So two people.
Yeah.
So, before I go into this, a little bit of backstory before I do. Obviously, we've talked about it a lot, but Maleficent came out on the 28th of May. And, we talked about it from inception to Jim Hill last year doing a script review. And, we kept tabs on it and we discussed it quite a lot recently. And, I was looking forward to it. My wife was looking forward to it. And we went opening night to see it. And after I saw the film, I immediately got on the phone to Paul. The first thing I did after I left the cinema was actually try to contact Mr. Boniface and say, "You don't have to be available, do you?" Because I felt I needed this event. And for those that may have seen the Twitter post or the Facebook post, I did actually decide to write what you could class as a mini review if that many words is little. But to be honest, I wasn't very impressed with Maleficent. In fact, that's an understatement. I came out of the cinema fuming like I've never come out of the cinema before. And I saw Batman and Robin at the cinema. So I've seen crappy films. But I hated it. Now, it does seem to be that it's divided opinion, although among the Disney community, it does seem very much still very pro to the film. So in that regard, I'm in the minority with, I suppose, the film critics. But I hated it from top to bottom. Angelina Jolie was good. I think some of the other acting was also not too bad, but the film itself just sucked in so many ways. Anyone want to ask me where to start? Anyone got any preferences where I start with this?
What was your main objection, do you think, Nick?
I think the biggest problem was the way it's been marketed as finding out the real reason why Maleficent was how she was. When really you didn't find out why Maleficent was evil because the entire story's been changed. It had nothing to do with what we knew Sleeping Beauty to be. The three fairies, which we've discussed before, having completely different names, were almost completely different people. They were really, really poor comic relief in the film. not funny at all, and in fact just stupid. And the story itself was just ridiculous. What you expect from a film like that, or what I certainly expect from a film like that, is seeing the other perspective of the same story. But really, in Maleficent, what you got was a completely different story involving some characters that you'd heard of before. And that was it. The director, who had previously worked on Alice in Wonderland and It Showed, decided to use some extra special effects left over from the Lord of the Rings films, I think, and also some from the upcoming Avatar Land project, to make the world of Maleficent come to life. But you could see that it was clearly a director who was very heavy on the visuals and not really on producing a decent enough film. And I think, unfortunately, it was a very, very big project which they gave to somebody with no experience, which you can also argue happened with John Carter and Tron Legacy before it. So it's not the first time, admittedly. And even though I liked those films, you could see that maybe under a different direction, they might have succeeded a bit better. But yeah, I just think the fact that they changed so much of the film was, for me, its downfall. And I'm actually quite surprised by the amount of love for it, if I'm honest. I think some people are a little bit deluded on why it's so good. I think they're giving it a lot of respect just because of what it is or what it means and who it's about. But yeah, if you're going to see the film because you want to see Sleeping Beauty, but from Maleficent's perspective, don't. You need to forget that film ever happened, because they're just completely different. They share a couple of scenes that are the same. Everything else is completely different. And for me, it just made me mad.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Paul, you've also had a chance to see it as well, though, haven't you?
Yeah, we just went on Friday. I know I was interested to hear Nick's view on it. I went with Kerry, my wife, and one of us hated it, and one of us thought it was okay, quite entertaining. So Kerry hated it. I thought it was okay. I quite liked it. I suppose I didn't have any expectations going into it. I'd seen one trailer. I knew it wasn't going to be Sleeping Beauty. I knew it was going to be a twist on that, or an alternative to that. So I didn't really have any expectations. I tried to stay away from reviews and that sort of thing, and I quite enjoyed it. There were a couple of things that I really didn't like. So as per Nick, I hated the fairies. I thought they were just ridiculous. There was one sort of minor titter where they drop the cake and there's a funny sound effect. That was it.
Yeah.
Right, that was the only thing they contributed. The rest of it was just annoying and stupid, and they were like the Jar Jar Binks of Maleficent, as far as I was concerned.
Yeah, did you not find with them that it was they were too stupid?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, too stupid, too ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, just annoying. And
Yeah.
the other thing that bugged me a little bit towards the end was Aurora, who was obviously auditioning for a toothpaste advert. Because if she smiled any harder, at the top of her head would have cracked and flipped over the back and fallen off. But apart from that, you know, I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was great. I didn't love it, but I thought it was pretty entertaining. I just viewed it as a twist on or an alternative. So, but Kerry, she really detested it. She didn't like, she thought, I mean, I think because maybe she's a little bit more into celebrities and things like that, she was more focused on Angelina Jolie. So she felt that the whole role was kind of constructed around her. And certainly there are a lot of images where it's just big close-ups of Angelina Jolie's face, which is amazing in the, you know, with the makeup and the cheekbones and all of that. But she just felt that it was too staged, too pouty, too, you know, sort of narcissistic on Angelina Jolie. But that didn't bother me too much.
Did you see it in 2D or 3D?
We could only see it in 2D at the time we wanted to go.
I mean, I wanted. Sorry, we decided to see it in 2D purely because we thought, we'll probably end up buying it on 3D anyway.
Doesn't sound like it.
But I have heard rumours that watching it, especially in IMAX 3D, that Angelina Jolie's cheekbones have actually damaged some people's eyes.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Because they are very, very prominent. I actually turned around at one point. So they're not really like that normally, are they? I thought I can't have missed that all my life. Actually, that side of things was very good.
Yeah.
But I agree in that I felt that it had been changed, that the story of Maleficent was changed to suit Angelina Jolie too much, in the fact that, she was the mistress of all evil. She is the villain of all villains, if you'll, believe what she says about herself. Yeah. And yet, there was nothing really evil until the last maybe 5 minutes or so that you could actually really consider to be evil. Everything was almost justified. And that, for me, takes away from who the characters should be. And even like the whole pretense coming up to it was, see where the evil began. Well, no, she wasn't evil. It seemed to be that because of who it was starring in that role, so I do agree with you right there, that things were changed for that reason. And I also think as well that, and spoiler alert for anyone that's still listening to this, True Love's Kiss apparently was reshot just after the success of Frozen.
All right.
And you can kind of see why that you could believe that. There were definitely reshoots, and it's hard to know exactly what was reshot, but the fact that 2 Disney films within the last 6 months or so have very similar outcomes.
I did see that coming. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but I did see that coming in the movie. It was kind of leading up to what actually happened.
Yeah.
But it was interesting what you said about how the nighttime scenes and some of the flying scenes looked like Avatar. They really did look like Avatar.
Oh, there was one bit where it was quite a long shot. So you saw like the kind of landscape at night, and if somebody had sent me that as a still and said, here's an image, an upcoming image from Avatar Land, I'd have believed it.
Yeah.
Because it was.
Yeah. So much so that I actually wondered, here's a conspiracy theory for you, that if Maleficent had been a huge box office success, would they actually dump Avatar and make it Maleficent Land, or, what did they call it? They didn't call it the forest. The Moors, that's it. Moors Land in the animal kingdom.
Well, you know what? With all these kind of things, there's nothing stopping. Until it's all been built, there's nothing stopping it not happening, is there? We've said that for a long time.
Yeah.
And although the likelihood is it's all fine, it's all going to happen. The fact is, at any point James Cameron could go, stuff this. He can afford the court cases and the losses that he'd be incurred if that did happen. So I think you could be right there. Definitely protection of property, but. I think, to be honest, it's the same feeling I had when I saw Alice in Wonderland. Both of those, that and Maleficent, if you want to look at them from a technical standpoint, both very pretty looking films, effects were good and everything like that, but at the same time, it was a lot of style over substance, and with both of them, they took liberties from the original stories in creating this new thing, especially with Alice in Wonderland, where it's soon turned into the Johnny Depp show, as far as I'm concerned, with the Mad Hatter. So, but I was very, very angry. I've calmed down ever so slightly since, but I'm still angry with how it turned out.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Sorry, Paul. Go ahead.
I'll say, we did ask a few of our listeners on our usual Ask Facebook question, how many people have seen it? And I think we got in late with the question today because we didn't get too many answers. Peter Pontecorvo, our resident paramedic, EMS. I was tempted to go down the ambulance driver, but that really belittles them. So, no. Peter's seen it, so he liked it. Kevin Curtis Allen just answered no, he hasn't seen it. And Lisa Green saw it and generally liked it in spite of its flaws. But we also asked a second question. After Maleficent, what Disney origin film would you like to see next? So if they were going to make another live-action Disney movie, you've already mentioned Beauty and the Beast, but Lisa herself said actually she'd like to see an Origins type Beauty and the Beast. I'm sure Gaston is seriously misunderstood. His backstory will show he's actually deeply intelligent and would never have become so self-absorbed were it not for some horrific childhood tragedy.
He's got asthma. That's why he keeps spitting all the time. Pooey.
Yeah.
Poor kid.
He was a bullied, beaten up little wimp at school, and unfortunately he got in with the wrong crowd and started doing anabolic steroids.
And eggs.
And eggs, lots of eggs. And realised that once he was roughly the size of a barge, he couldn't get through doors. So, Kevin.
If anybody wants that script,
yeah,
we're open to negotiation.
Yeah, indeed. Kevin wants to see them do a live-action Nightmare Before Christmas. That'd be interesting.
And the villain in that piece, of course, could be Jules Holland.
Yeah.
And he could be Boogie Woogie.
And Peter, with his answer, wants to see the idea of a Scar backstory.
Right.
Yeah. I wouldn't like to see that in live action.
Yeah.
Just be a man in a lion costume. Be rubbish. Be like the Wizard of Oz or something.
Some sort of, I don't know, theatrical performance of a bloke in a lion hat.
I think I would like to see the origin film of Herbie. I've decided.
Who was the villain? Or are we talking the actual origin of Herbie, the good guy?
Is Herbie a villain? We always think he's a juvenile Volkswagen Beetle. But what if it turned out he was possessed with the spirit of a serial killer?
He could be related to Christine.
Yeah. Well, he's just driving about the place, polluting the place. I mean, that's not unleaded he's running on.
Not at that age, no, you're right.
No.
Would have got pay more in the road tax for that one.
Who would you like to see if they were going to do not a non-Maleficent style live action follow up to something they've animated? I mean, you can carry on down the Snow White route, and I'd like to see a live action Grumpy movie with Warwick Davis.
Actually, I think there's only one person to play Grumpy in a live action film. Has anyone seen Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Mike in Breaking Bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
He is like the real life Grumpy. He's obviously way too tall, but we know from Bob Hoskins that you can shrink people down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because Elijah Wood, I hear it, is actually 6'8".
He also likes talking to imaginary dogs, but that's another story.
Oh dear. Who else? What other backstories could we cover?
Darth Vader, his origin. Oh no, wait a minute, that's been done.
Do it and do it properly this time.
Yeah, do it right.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, some of the Pixar ones, so you got like the Incredibles, because you don't see the Incredibles until they're ex-superheroes, so that'd be a good one.
Yeah, you only see a little bit of a flashback, don't you?
Yeah.
Wally,
yeah.
that'd be good. Never ever make the origin story of the film Up.
No.
Seeing that montage was too much for me to take.
Yeah, don't touch that. No.
But I mean, I think Wally, that leaves a lot of good questions. Or are we suggesting that maybe the origin of Wally was already made as Short Circuit?
Number 5 is alive.
Just throwing it out there. Stitch as well, actually. I'd like to see an origin story of Stitch.
With live action.
Yeah.
Again, Warwick Davis.
Just think of vehicles for him to star in.
Yeah.
Is there anything we can get Tim Curry to be in?
Yeah. He could.
Yeah. Hades. He'd be a good Hades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If James Wood wouldn't.
Yeah. James Wood wouldn't.
And Edward Woodward.
Nah, James Wood would.
Edward Woodward.
Would he?
No. Well, actually, yeah. Woody. That'd be a good origin story.
Well, yeah. That'd be Edward Woodward. He'd be Woody.
Would he?
Yeah.
This has got far too complicated, far too quickly.
How high is a Chinaman?
Oh dear. If anyone mentions Ken Dodd's dad's dog, we're in trouble.
That bombshell.
Yeah. How very Top Gear. the Stig's backstory.
Actually, you know what? There is something I wanted to mention. So obviously, I had my soapbox where I had my negativity flowing out for the first time in quite a while. But and I've made enemies, I think, before of the Disney store with bad customer service, that kind of thing. And I've been fairly vocal on that. But I actually went into a Disney store the other day, and I know a lot of people are getting angry right now because they haven't got Disney stores left near them. But in London, I do. And I went into the flagship store in Oxford Street to pick up a few bits and pieces. And I ended up speaking to the store manager, not intentionally, she was just a member of staff that was there at the time. And I'd been in a few days previously, and I don't know if you've ever seen these, but they do a Zurg action figure.
Oh, no,
It's
there's
the same
one.
size as Buzz Lightyear, right?
Could Tim Curry play Emperor Zurg's dad?
Emperor Zurg, that'd be awesome.
That's Buzz's granddad then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim Curry is Buzz's granddad.
Yeah.
But I'd been there in that store on a Monday looking for something else, and I hadn't seen them for a long time, but they were there, and I must have had about 30 of them. I thought, should I get one for myself? Should I get one for myself? And dithered. And I went in on a Friday to get something else. I went to the stand where they were, and they were completely gone. And so I said to the store manager, do you know if you get any more in? And she said, we don't get them in very often, but I'll check for you. And they checked the stock room and said, no, we're completely out. We might be getting more in, but I've got no idea when. But then she said, but we've just put these couple out on display, so as they do sometimes display their toys. She said, if you'd like to take one of those, you could have one without the box, and I'll give you a discount. So I was like, cracking, because I've been after one for a long time. So I ended up with a brand new Emperor Zurg that talks. I'll demonstrate it for you right now. There you go. And he does also say the immortal line, Buzz, I am your father as well. He's awesome. And not only that, she then, when we was queuing up, because she had to run a discount for the till, so she was chatting to me and she was talking about Zurg and Darth Vader and the similarities there and the whole Star Wars thing. So she was quite into films and that. And she said, have you got the latest collector cards? For those that don't know, they've been giving away Star Wars cards every 2 weeks at the moment. It's like an in-store promotion. And I hadn't been in to get them. She's the first time someone's asked me for the secret password, and she would not let me have these cards until I got the password right. She gave me very little subtle clues, but it actually made it quite fun. And I got it in the end. I did get it in the end, which was, I've got a bad feeling about this for anyone who wants to get the same cards. But sometimes cast members in Disney stores do go that extra mile. And it was clear that whether it was just a good day or something like that, I don't know. But she was having a good day. She was giving really good interaction with people, very polite and helpful. And I thought it should be mentioned, really, because it's quick enough to have a go at these places when they do wrong. But you're never quick to, say when they do something right. And I caught her name. Her name was Natalie. She won't listen to this podcast because she works at a Disney company. And we know how they love us. But for anyone that does know her, tell her that we said hi.
In which store?
The Oxford Street flagship store.
Natalie in Oxford Street.
Yeah.
Round of applause from everyone out here.
That's it. Because that's it. If you do good service, you should get commended for it. And she won't. But the fact that we recognise that is something, especially when normally it's because they've done something really poor. So fair play. Fair play.
Yeah.
Excellent. Blimey. Well, yeah. It shows when we haven't got a guest that does all the talking for us. Yeah.
We need to waffle on.
Of Jim Hill 4-hour specials.
Yeah. I should have just edited some of him in, but there you go.
Hey, we didn't even talk about Diagon Alley. That's the big news. I mean, we talked about all the Disney news, but Diagon Alley. They've announced all the food and stuff.
And the dragon is getting some wings on the top of the stores there and stuff.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Is it Paul McCartney?
Here we go.
They're sticking Paul McCartney's on the side of this dragon.
Yeah.
Singing Jet on the loop.
I was trying to think, how can I fit a Band on the Run pun in, but I can't, so I'm not going to be bothered.
It was bad enough when I said something, Paul. Don't embarrass yourself like I have.
Yeah, probably.
They've got a frog. They have got a frog chorus though, haven't they?
That's true. Yes, they have. I'm so going to have to dig that sound loop out. Blimey. In that case, we may as well make it a nice short one. Mm-hmm. And I'll pad out the last 6 minutes of our radio performance with 6 minutes constant loop of the pub singer.
Well, unless you want to talk in detail about Diagon Alley.
Have you got any details?
Of course not.
Should we just make stuff up?
I'm not going.
Unless you've got your Disney trivia handy.
Who's up for a challenge?
Go for it. Go on.
I'll take one for the team.
Oh,
yeah.
There we go then.
Anyway, to cut that story short, Diagon Alley looks good. There you go. Yeah. And some people get to see it this year, and others won't. And no one's bitter about it at all. Carry on.
I've got 3 words to say.
Yep.
Butter beer ice cream. Yes. Bring it on.
Oh dear, oh dear.
I will try it just for the sake of it, but.
Right. Who's gonna take this one for the team?
Well, my big mouth. Go on.
All right. In that case, are you ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
2 minutes starting now. Who saved Simba from the stampeding wildebeest?
His dad. No, Scar. No, his dad. The king, the Lion King.
I shall take your first answer.
Right.
Whose first names include Abraham de Lacy, Giuseppe Casey?
Oh, Tramp. Is that right?
What at the end?
No.
What's Cinderella's slipper made of?
Glass.
Pulling them out. Who's the only one of the 7 dwarfs with blue eyes?
Doc. No, Dopey.
I shall take your first answer.
Bollocks. He's number 8.
Who volunteers to take Mowgli back to the man village?
Bagheera.
Who tells Alice the story of the walrus and the carpenter?
Oh, the Cheshire Cat. I haven't seen that for so long. I don't think that's right. Next.
You've got a lucky one. What's the name of the baby princess upon whom Maleficent cast a curse?
Oh, that'd be Aurora.
I just pulled that one out. I'm not biased towards my own members of the team. Dear. What living creatures does Timon confuse with the stars?
The hyenas.
What colour crocodile does Madame Mim become?
Blue.
Yeah, we're getting there. 10 seconds left. Dear. I can't read another Maleficent one. I'm throwing that one away. I'm not cheating. What's the name of Cinderella's evil stepmother? I've started, so I'll finish.
Stepmother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I think I know that one.
Right, here we go. Let's start again. Right.
Oh, it's so bad.
Here we go. Who saved Simba from the stampeding wildebeest? You said his father,
Mufasa.
the Lion King. You were right.
Yeah.
So I took your first answer.
Mufasa is his name.
It was indeed. Whose names were Abraham de Lacy, Giuseppe Casey? It was Thomas O'Malley.
Yeah.
And the Aristocats.
Nuts.
Dear. What did I ask then? What's Cinderella's slipper made of? Glass. You were right. I just can't believe that question came out. Did anyone actually get that wrong? Here we go.
I thought it was a trick question. I was thinking, was it crystal? Was it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Her slippers were made of wool with fluffy bits. It was the shoes that were made of glass. Yeah. Who's the only one of the 7 dwarfs with blue eyes?
Dopey.
It's Dopey, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Who volunteers to take Mowgli back to the man village? You said Bagheera. It is indeed Bagheera.
Yeah.
I know. Who tells Alice the story of Walrus and the Carpenter?
Tweedledum and Tweedledee.
It is indeed Tweedledum.
I haven't seen that for such a long time.
I love that bit of the films.
What's the name of the baby princess that Maleficent cursed? Princess Aurora. Yeah.
Aurora.
I can't believe I got that one and the glass slipper.
Briar Rose. What happened with that?
Brian Rose.
Lead singer of Guns N' Roses.
The name of no, that's not the wrong. What living creatures does Timon confuse with the stars? It's fireflies.
Yeah.
Madame Mim becomes a crocodile of which colour?
Purple?
It's pink.
Ah.
And here's the one that you said you knew. What is the name of Cinderella's evil stepmother?
Tremaine.
It is indeed Lady Tremaine. Yes. So at the end of that round, Paul, you scored 4.
Hey. Pathetic.
If you want, if you're ready,
Yeah.
and if you've got time.
Are you up for it? Well, I think
So head to head.
I'm going to save you. You've got a few weeks leeway until we've not got a guest.
Yeah, because I'm going to spend the next couple of weeks really getting my Disney knowledge down.
Revise.
Watching all the films, revising. So at that point, no, we've reached the hour, and the radio station will be there telling me to that's it, time up and all that.
Well, I don't blame them.
Yeah. That's it. Well, I think that puts you somewhere in the top 3 of the leaderboard.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Possibly,
it's not a terrible score.
Possibly even second.
Hey, it's
Yeah.
I was influenced by the cider or the beer.
That would be it.
The late red.
So, should anyone want to take part in our quiz and think they can challenge us, how do they contact us?
Wow, well, of course, they can visit our website at www.disafterdark.com, where you can also find my review of the film Maleficent, and you can also email us at podcast@disafterdark.com.
Or you can tweet us at Disafterdark. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Disafterdark. And we are also on macechat.com.
YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, somewhere, and all that other stuff. But yes, Barman has called time, gentlemen, please. So, as always, it has been a pleasure having you listen to us, dear listener.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for the download, and see you all in 2 weeks' time.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
And I've got to hit that bit.
Growing older is mandatory. Growing up is optional. Dis After Dark, the podcast that's nearly the same as all the others.
And just because they're waiting for something...
We are slick.
Yeah, I think I've just given this for a couple of seconds.
Finland, Finland, Finland.
That's enough.
The country where I want to be pony trekking up.
There are reasons for that, but I'll come on if anyone gets it. Gentlemen, we're out. Thank you very much. See you all in a fortnight's time.
Adios.